Good evening and welcome back if you follow me. Welcome if you're new. And if you found my channel, you found it for a reason. There's no coincidence that you found me. And I was just settling down for the night. Just move this over here. Smoke's getting in the way. And I've been a bit out of sorts the last few days. I've had some very personal family stuff going on. And because of who I am and that empathic in me and that earth angel in me, feel it, you know, very, very strongly. I feel emotions of my loved ones around me, I feel the environment, all of that, feel things. It's like it's amped up, you know, to what it normally would be. And it seems to be getting stronger and stronger in me also. So each upgrade, I call it. So integration, I'm integrating the energies of my recent trip to France, which I knew I was going there to pick up something, you know, and that integration's doing its work at the minute. But yeah, I've been feeling a bit out of sorts lately, just coming out of the flu also, so my body's still trying to get back to its equilibrium. And yeah, had family issues and things going on, so you know, that's hit me quite hard. So I'm hearing my angels coming in. I was just resting, because they've had me resting also, which is pretty hard for me to do, because I've been go for many years in preparation to find my wings, you know, to understand that I'm from the angelic realm, and that's why I've always felt out of sorts in the earthly realm. Never felt like I fit in, always felt I was different, not in an egotistical way, but could feel things more strongly than others. And I used to question why I was oversensitive and I got cold sensitive. I know now that it's because I was empathic and I was feeling my wings, you know, beneath the surface. But because I was so numbed down by the earthly realm and the lower density that's here, I couldn't feel these wings completely, you know, until I did the work, until I did the deep introspection and healing work it took for me to find my wings. So they've told me I work with the angelic realm. I am from the angelic realm. That's just one part of my multidimensional self fractal that's been returned to me, that knowing, that DNA. That's just one part. There's many parts to this journey, multidimensional. You know, you're not just one. You haven't just been one. And yeah, there's many aspects to yourself, not just what you can see, you know. Once you start doing the healing and that deep introspection, you start making sense of it. You know, those cards was upside down. Yeah, you don't feel so upside down, topsy-turvy. You start things start to make sense more, why you've always felt this way, why you've never really fit in, why you've always been sensitive, you know, what society calls sensitive. That's the empathic, that's the angelic traits inside. Upside down again, look. Yeah, things start to make sense. So I'm hearing the angels coming, my angels are wanting to bring some messages through to us, and I also feel messages to me at this time. You know, because although I am angelic and I am an angel on earth, they've said, part of me, I still have to trust, you know, that what's coming through is you know, because the earthly realm can have you thinking, you know, you're crazy, you're all this and that, if you're any different to others, you know, that judgment, that projections that people put on us. And when you're awake, you know, you start seeing things different. You start seeing colours. You know, this balloon, it's popped wide open. Blessings in disguise. Yeah, when my balloon started to pop, and I started to hear things and see things and realise I was just not this vessel, this earthly body. I started to see the colours. I started to see this world was full of colours and blessings in disguise, you know. So all what I was going through, you know, and all I was seeing, yeah, I was seeing feathers, a lot of angel feathers. Yeah, things started to, instead of that, you know, black and white, what I'd been in from coming here, you know, that veil dropped upon us. I started to see it in colour. Yeah, it went from black and white to colour. And more angels. And that's what happens when you start spiritually awake and things start to fall away, that veil. Very much upside down in my cards. Yeah, very much upside down. There's a message in that. I'm going to take it. Yeah, you feel scattered, you know. So, doubt, scattered. When you start waking up, you don't feel upside down. You feel topsy-turvy. You feel like, what's going on? And you do feel scattered, and you do have doubts, because you know, you're upside down, but you're trying to walk this tightrope of life, this earthly realm, knowing full well you can feel something, you know, under this upside down world, in this upside down world, you can feel something wanting to wake up, you know, and you're walking a firm tightrope, you know, and you can topple off at any time. You feel like that. But you can also feel that there's something you're balancing out. And it's in all areas, you know, it's not just in one area. It's in all areas. When you start waking up, it's every part of your earthly life. It's every part of that. And the heart's in the centre of it. And it's this. It's leading you to, you know, it's leading you to your heart, to wake up, to balance this heart chakra out, you know, and find your heart also, you know, because in this earthly realm, our heart gets distorted and it gets blocked because of all the dense energy that's here, all the dark, you know. Spiritual warfare, it's very, very real. But you don't see it, you know, until you start seeing these colours, seeing things from black and white to colour. You don't see that there's been spiritual warfare. going on, and that's what's been keeping us in the lower vibration, the lower density energy, you know. It's all around us, but when you start waking up, that's when you start seeing things in colour. It goes from black and white. Things start to make sense, yes, but you also start having doubts, because everything that you've been up to now, you know, all the projections that society puts on us, and family and friends, and not from any fault of theirs, because they've had that put on them, you know, that veil dropped upon them. So it's trickled down also, you know, from the ancestral line. So it's not from, nobody's at fault, it's just we've been put under that illusion, you know, until we start doing this. We take it into our own hands to start healing. Energy healing. Now, everything's energy. And I made this decision 20 years ago when I started to focus on my health. Got on my yoga mat. Started to move that chi, that life force energy through my system. Started to get my wellness, be active and nourish myself in the right ways. Food, environment, yoga. Started to put that self-love and self-care and healing into myself. So when I started to realise I held this energy in my hands, you know, and I am a Reiki practitioner now. And that has come from taking care of myself and understanding energy. I always had an innate knowing of we are more than what we can see. We are more than this human vessel. We are more than flesh and bones. No, we are more than that. I always had that innate knowing. It wasn't until I started to bring that self-love and self-care and nourish my body, that then nourished my mind, that then nourished my soul, that then brought on that I held this energy in my hands all along. I am a healer. I am an energy healer. I do understand energy. I've known it for many, many past lifetimes also. I've been a healer in every lifetime. But it wasn't until, you know, I started to see things clearly, these colours, and I started to balance myself out in all areas of my life, not just one area, all areas. Then that brought this knowing of, you know, I hold this energy in my hands, and I don't just hold this energy in my hands for myself. Yes, it's healed myself, it's healed my body, my mind, my soul. I hold this energy in my hands to help others find their healing, to help others understand that once, you know, you decide you're going to walk this tightrope and you're going to balance all these aspects out of yourself, you know, and you're going to focus on your health and giving that self-love and self-care back to you. And then I teach others how, you know, the tightrope that I've walked, this path that I've walked, and that nourishment I gave back to myself. You hold this in your hands also. We all do. You have the healing in your hands all the time to heal yourself. But I'm here as this earth angel on earth to show others what's possible. And this, the chakras. So when I started to nourish myself, to really take care of myself, bring that self-love and self-compassion to myself, get on my yoga mat, move my body, then that started to balance my chakras, my 7 energy centres out inside me. Now that we've got a lot more than that, but that's your rainbow bridge. That's what I speak of. I've worked on my rainbow bridge. So it's gone from black and white to colour, to finding the full spectrum inside of myself, to understanding that this rainbow bridge, the path to healing, truly healing, is by working on the full spectrum, working up the full spectrum. You know, so the root chakra, that's your stability, that's your foundation, that's your connection to Mother Gaia, that's your earth. And there's your sacral, it's your identity. It's your self-worth and your identity, sexual identity also. Your solar plex, that's your state of power, your determination. You get up and go, you drive. Your heart, we know what the heart is. The heart in this picture card is right at the centre. She's following this heart, you know. And that's what I decided to do when I started to nourish myself. Get on my yoga mat every day, 20 years ago now. Maybe a few days, hit and miss here and there, but very disciplined, because I understood it was my medicine, you know. The minute I'd sit on my yoga mat, those words would come into my mind. Yoga is my medicine. And that's what got me through, you know, because my body wasn't always healthy, it wasn't always vibrant. I had many years of chronic illness, and it took me a lot to get on my yoga mat every day. It took me a lot to get out of bed every day for many years. And that's because I wasn't balanced, you know, I wasn't following my heart. My heart had been closed off from the lower densities of this earthly realm. The spiritual warfare, you know, was trying to dampen me from finding my heart, from finding this energy inside myself. If you've caught my other readings on the twin flames, well, twin flames are targets because we hold this inside us. We hold this very powerful healing light inside us. And it's called the 12-strand DNA. And once we hit that avatar of the 12-strand DNA, the spiritual warfare then has no hold over us, you know. So they don't want us to find this energy that we hold in our hands, because they know once we find it, we're going to speak about it, and we're going to teach others about it, and we're going to show them the path to finding their balance, their equilibrium, following their heart. We're going to show them. And the path is the rainbow bridge. Just like I've walked this rainbow bridge 8 years now, I'm showing others their path to healing and finding that healing inside themselves. Because we all hold that healing inside us, every one of us. I don't heal people, I just show them that they hold this inside of them. Then that sets them on their own path of this rainbow bridge. you know. So I'm getting a course together about the Rainbow Bridge, about showing others how to heal through the chakras, the 7 chakras, the Rainbow Bridge, that earth to heaven connection. You know, so your root to your crown. It's that full spectrum. And once you work through that full spectrum, you start feeling the energy. You start feeling energy in your own body. That's how it started for me. I started to feel my own energy, and I started to feel others' energy. And it got stronger and stronger the more I worked on myself and brought that health and vitality back to myself. It got stronger and stronger, and I started to balance out in all areas of my life. And I followed my heart, and I follow my heart on everything I do. If it's not about the heart, I won't follow it. There's no point. That's the true authenticity of us. When you start walking this path, and you've really worked on these chakras and your Rainbow Bridge, there is no other way, you know, but to follow the heart. Everything comes from the heart. If that's closed off, these are. And this is. So we all hold that power, you know, to understand we're our own healer. We hold this energy in our hands all the time. It's just been hidden. But I started to see things, you know. It went from black and white to colour. Any more angels? Any more? Once I started to work on that Rainbow Bridge, I started to understand, you know, that connection to all parts of myself. So when I speak about the multidimensional, I started to understand that I've not just been one thing. I've had many past lifetimes, and I started to understand that because many fractals was returning to me. So my connection to Mary Magdalene, Yeshua, the Christ light inside of me, that connection to heaven and earth, that we are not just earth, we are also heaven, so we are human and divine. I started to understand that. Also, very, very early on, the shaman. I started to understand I'd been a shaman, or shaman, whatever we call it. Medicine woman. That came in pretty early on. And then there was also my connection to Lemuria. Once my DNA got that reboot from doing meditation and yoga and working on my 7 chakras, my Rainbow Bridge, the more I ascended over this Rainbow Bridge, the more fractals started to return to me of my past lives. Also, you know, my angel wings, very early on also. And it says here, may the angels fill your life with colour and magic. Yeah, I didn't see the magic before I started to wake up. Once that veil started to lift, because I'd started to do this work and work on my Rainbow Bridge and ascend over the Rainbow Bridge, and understand, you know, we are more than just a human vessel. We are more than just human. We are divine. Started to see the colour and the magic all around in this world that's been hidden, you know, from us. Any more angels? Any more? Any more? And they've had me in a resting period, you know. This is the first download I've had for quite a long time. yeah, since returning from France, you know, and again, that multidimensional part of me understood why I was being guided to go to France, and it was to pick something up and integrate something that I pick up from there. But the integration periods, you know, they take time to integrate. And there's a lot going on. We just, you know, the belting and also the full moon, and I do believe a 5/5 portal. So with me feeling energy and seeing magic and seeing things in colour now, I also feel these powerful energetic shifts going on you know, in our planet. Yeah, that. See this? This is what we are. We are not just this. We are not just this earthly body on this earthly realm. We're light. We're full of light. Gold. Golden light. Once we start knowing that, you know, we hold this light inside us, balance, connection to spirit, the intuition comes online. That's what we are. Every one of us were these beings of light. You know, like that film, is it Cocoon? I always speak about films because they're relatable, aren't they? But, you know, on this earthly realm of ours, there's messages, there's that magic in these films that people have been leaving for us, you know, other light beings, the ones that are awake, like Avatar, The Matrix. What's the other ones? Many, you know, Wizard of Oz. Yeah. Look around. Open your eyes to seeing. There's magic everywhere. That's what we are. These beautiful golden beings walking around, thinking we're not, thinking we're just this human, you know, in a body. Yes, we are human, but we are also divine. So this angel here, Sandoval, how tall is he? You know, but he's got his feet rooted on the ground. He's rooted into Earth, Mother Earth. But how tall is he that he reaches through the clouds up into the sky? And he's got that connection to the heavens, hasn't he? So he's saying to us, you know, we all are this. We have that connection to Earth and heaven. But first, you know, you have to give that love, self-care. Work on your rainbow bridge. Ascend over the rainbow bridge. Start your chi flowing. That starts, you know, understanding energy inside your body. That brings the healing to these 7 energy wheels inside us. Then that opens us up to, wow, we hold this light inside us. We're not just human. We are divine. And we have a connection to Earth and heaven. And it's been there all along, but it's been hidden. And it's been hidden for a reason. Until, you know, it's time to wake up and understand we are this. We are the full spectrum. We are the rainbow. We are the rainbow, they're saying. We have all these colours inside us. We have angel wings. we hold this light. This angel's holding this light, and he's wearing a coat of many colours. Yeah, what's that one? Other one? The coat of many colours. Oh, what's it called? Angels, help me out. Yeah, look around. There's messages everywhere. So this is Archangel Raziel. Enlightened, adaptable, soulful, connected. And he's got his feet on the earth, you know. So these angels, they're all telling us we have our feet on the earth, but we have our connection to heaven. Messages in that, you know. Look for the magic. And we are the full spectrum. We are this technicolor coat of many colours. We are the angels. We have angel wings. We all have wings. A little bit tattered and torn from the lessons, you know, we learn on the earthly realm. But we always hold this light. Beautiful message, angels. Any more? Yeah. Evolution. You know, once we start evolving, our soul starts to evolve from working on our 7 energy centres. Understanding we hold energy, we are energy, everything is energy, and we hold this in our hands all along. We start seeing, you know, we are the full spectrum, we hold these colours inside us, we hold this light, we have that connection to earth and heaven. That's our evolution, you know, that's our souls evolving, that's our transformation. That's our empowerment. It's also our protection. Yeah, we're getting prepared, you know. When you start working through these energy centres, you start balancing yourself out. And you become more vibrant and healthy. Walking this path every day. And you start seeing more colours. Everything goes from black and white to colours, you know. You start seeing colours everywhere. And this energy keeps flowing through us, and the more it gets more powerful and powerful, you know, every day. You know you are this light. It's undeniable that you are the light. You have this light inside you, because your spiritual gifts are returning at this point. Because once you start opening up, truly, you know, using your intuition and that balance, that connection to spirit comes in. You know you're this light, you know you're human and divine. You know that you are this connection to heaven and earth. You know, Sandalphon is the tallest angel in the angelic realm. He reaches from the earth to the heavens. He also sends your prayers to the heavens, straight to God. So, you know, if you're feeling like your prayers are not being answered and you are at a loss, call on Sandalphon. And he'll send your prayers straight to God. You know? And then Raziel, also call on Raziel. And he'll help you find this full spectrum of colours inside yourself. And help you find this light that we all hold on your angel wings. And that, you know, that's our preparation, all that energy healing, the working through the 7 chakras. You're being prepared, very protected, and you're being transformed. with that comes empowerment, you know. You know that you are this full spectrum. You know you are these colours. You're not just black and white. You've always been colour. You've been the rainbow all along. And you've held this light all along. Oh, I needed to hear that. Thank you, angels. That's a beautiful message. So, you know, even earth angels can get a bit down sometimes. You know, this earthly realm can get a bit too much for me sometimes. And I miss home, you know, because I'm not from here. And the angelic in me, you know, feels very, very deeply. So it can get a bit much, you know, for the empathic souls, light beings, because we feel so deeply, you know. So they've had me resting, and that's the first reading I've done for quite a bit. But I know why they want me resting and integrating that energy healing I received. I'm going to pull a Mary Magdalene card also. This is my new deck. Yeah, look at the first card. Rainbow. Yeah, rainbow is very significant. And that's the course I'm going to be offering, to walk with me over the Rainbow Bridge, just like I've done it for 8 years. I'm going to ask others if they're ready to walk over this Rainbow Bridge. It says, silence, I speak from my heart, love has already won. Let's read from the book, because it comes with a book, this one. So everything's rainbows, isn't it? Rainbows, rainbows, rainbows. Full colour, full spectrum of us. We are not just black and white. What, you know, what you can see is what you can see. No, we have so much more than that. So let's have a look. Silence. Silence is good. Might be moments. Right, let's have a look. Silence. Seems like the book's silent. I can't find it. There we go. I speak from my heart. The most important voice we could ever hear doesn't have a voice at all. The silence within the heart isn't devoid of sound or images. The silence within us is often deafening with the volume of its truth. The silence is often so confronting because it asks us to face what we already know. So silence is mentioned in two significant points in Mary's Gospel. First, after Mary had said these things, she was silent, since it was up to this point that the Saviour had spoken to her. So this verse implies that everything Mary shares in her Gospel was word for word what she had heard from within her. So silence is only a virtue when we're truthful about sharing word for word what we hear in our heart. It's never virtuous to hold back or silence the truth that lives inside us, no matter how the outside world might perceive it. Yeah, you know, me being an energy healer, angelic, connected to Lemuria, connected High Priestess of the Rose Lineage Path. I don't hold that back now. They're all fractals of myself that's retained from doing this energy healing, from walking my truth, you know, walking my path, being brave enough to stay on this path against the perceptions and the judgments of the outside world, against my family, my friends, against a lot, you know, you're up against it. And it's because, you know, the programming of the earthly realm. Again, just like I was programmed to believe that everything was black and white and we didn't hold this colour inside us. Your family and friends are also that way, you know, and if they're not willing to do the work and do the and work through their rainbow bridge, ascend over the rainbow bridge, then no amount of me speaking my truth, you know, is going to change that. You have to be really, really truthful with yourself that you're ready, you know, to find these colours inside yourself. Take your world from black and white to colour. And it says here, it's not our work to judge the truth within us so critically that we never even express it. This ends up being one of the main regrets of the dying, that we didn't say out loud what was repeating itself already in the silent knowing of our heart. Yeah. So the rainbow bridge. Silence is when we have overcome all those egoic powers that would have us believe we are anything other than love. Silence is being submerged in love. Silence is when we all hear, when all we hear is the steady stream of what the heart has to say, and joy is the courage to simply express it, word for word, saying only what the heart already knows. Yeah, you know, when that rainbow bridge, when you start to walk over that rainbow bridge and work through all your chakras, and that colour starts to return to you. That's the way of the heart. You're following your heart. And you're working through those egoic powers. So there's 7 stages of the awakening. You're working through them. You know, so your ego mind, your traumas, your wounds, your abandonment wounds, your fear. You come up against that. That's your egoic powers. That's the 7 stages of the awakening. And that's that ascension over the rainbow bridge. So this book comes with a soul voice meditation. So when the ego is silent, what do I hear my heart share? So when you drown out all perceptions and judgments from others and you sit in silence, what does your heart say? Truly, when you drown out that noise of the earthly realm and projections and judgments and programming, and you just become really, really silent, what does your heart say to you? So she's saying, go into silence. The answers are there. And I shall leave this now. It's 4 minutes. I'm going to go watch film. Now I've shared a bit on my rainbow bridge and how I ascended over the rainbow bridge. Beautiful message. I shall leave it there and I shall speak to you all soon.